Hi guys, so today I decided to come here to show you guys how you can use ChatGPT and AI to actually help you study with our lessons. So we have to use technology for good, right? And not to replace our learning process, but to actually be a partner in this. So how can we do that? This is my suggestion. What can we do after the lesson? After any kind of lesson we have, it's very important to review, right? To go back and check what we learned and so forth. So I would recommend after 2 or 3 days from our lesson, you should try go back to the slides and review what we learned. Let's say, for example, that we learned in this lesson that I really like when we talk about traveling with a person that was not very nice to us and the experience was not amazing, right? So I really like this lesson. Imagine that after 2 days of from our lesson, you just come here, review, and you say, oh yes, I remember I learned a new verb, sunbathe. I also learned another verb, which is flirt. And I learned the difference between hostels and hotels. So usually what you would do, you would just take notes after 2 or 3 days from our lesson and just make sure that you review this content, right? What I recommend you do is you go to ChatGPT, you open a new chat, and you just tell ChatGPT to save this information for you. So for example, here, just save this information for me, please. Lesson 1, new vocabulary learned. Sunbathe is a verb, flirt is a verb, hostel is a noun. Pronunciation, how to pronounce ed in the past simple, argued, sunbathed, asked. And I practiced talking about my previous vacation experience in the past. Cool. Then you go to your second lesson. We have our second lesson, and we talked about being eco-friendly. In this lesson, we learned how to talk about the future. We learned that we should use future perfect and future continuous, depending on our predictions. So what you do is you go to ChatGPT after 2 or 3 days from that lesson, and you tell him, just save this information for me, please. Lesson 2, grammar that I learned, future perfect, future continuous. And I practice talking about my predictions for 20 years from now. Okay, cool. After you record all your lessons over here, so maybe we're going to have 100 lessons, maybe 10, 5 or something, then you can just ask ChatGPT in the same chat here to give you some ideas, some exercises, how you can apply that in your daily life and to review and kind of like get in touch with that vocabulary and grammar again, or even exercises you can do. For example, here I asked it, give me a review exercise about my lessons 1 and 2. So they gave me a whole thing with options that I have to fill. Last summer, I on the beach for hours every day. Sunbathed, or will sunbathe. So here we have to complete, and it also gives you the answers afterwards so you can check. ChatGPT is great for helping us. Then I also asked, please recommend me a weekly challenge based on what I learned in lessons 1 and 2. So if you want something more extensive that you can do during the week, here is a suggestion. Write a short story, short essay about your future vacation plans using future perfect, future continuous, and some of the vocabulary, for example, sunbathe, flirt, hostel. So you see a very useful tool. If you want to try, if you want to get more details how I do this and how it can help us in the lessons, just let me know. And I hope to see you guys very soon. I hope you enjoyed this tip. See you. Bye.